I've always been a really driven individual. When there's something that I really want to do, I would go for it full steam ahead. So when I knew that I wanted to be a rapper, I really started from the bottom, from recording out of a $5 cheap microphone into a video game machine at a friend's house. And I remember after the recording, playing it back, I was like, man, this is dope. You know, hearing your voice back and pumping it in the car. That is until you play your favorite rapper again and think, man, this is whack. So I knew I had to, search for better sound quality recording studios, which I eventually found back in my hometown, Whyalla. So what I would do is travel back and forth from Adelaide to Whyalla on the weekends and create beats with a guy called Pitbull. And after creating the beats, actually recording right there on the spot with raps that I already had written. But even after that, we were using out-of-dated drums and the sound quality wasn't that great. So, which, eventually led to me fast forward maybe 8 years and I brought my own equipment, I brought my own laptop and my own keyboard and the right software, and with the help from my mentor, Darren Mullen, helping me how to use the programs, and then eventually learning the skill myself, how to create my own beats. And my first beat that I actually ever created was the beat for How Would You Like to Be Me. And even now when I look back and play that track, and I was like, damn, I created that. Please stay afloat. Please stay afloat. Last year I heard about an old-fashioned talent scout that was being done by Warner Music. So I went along and a man stood in the line for about 4 hours before I rapped to David Caplice, who used to be Jessica Mauboy's manager. And I rapped for like 30 seconds of the first verse of How Would You Like to Be Me, and he said stop. He then said, man, that was one of the best rhymes that I've heard in some time. But you gotta find a way to basically come up with music where people aren't going to be afraid of you. And inside I was laughing to myself because, that feedback is kind of more or less saying to dumb it down to cater to more of a pop audience. And I guess pop isn't me. It definitely isn't my sound. I mean, I'm a rapper and I rap about real things in real life, and yeah, I guess he heard in the grittiness of my rhymes that people would instantly be afraid, and he said the image that I have is spot on, a clean-cut basic image, but in terms of the words were maybe a bit too harsh. I mean, don't get me wrong, I want to have commercial radio success as well. I'm still trying to find that balance in terms of my rap style and creating the right production to put those rhymes over and the right concepts. So who knows in the future what type of music I'll be making, as to why that I don't really like to box myself in as well. I mean, yes, I create real music, but I do understand in terms of getting your voice heard to a larger audience, you really have to do cater for those people, and I'm still trying to find that balance.
An Indigenous rapper from South Australia has won
An Aboriginal rapper who successfully challenged Facebook to unblock his controversial video has vowed to continue his anti-racist campaign.
I never wanted to be an artist that was put into a box. I never wanted to be labelled as Aboriginal, Indigenous or Aussie hip-hop. I mean, define those two terms. Yes, I'm Australian and yes, I'm Aboriginal. But at the end of the day, I'm just an MC who creates music. I think by allowing yourself to be boxed in does put limits on what you can do, and how you perceive that might determine how far you can take it. Because whether we like it or not, people are only going to expect a certain style from you, or a certain lyrical content. And I think for hip-hop to grow in this country, the industry and fans really need to allow for change and not discriminate or act prejudice if you sound or look different to the normal so-called Aussie hip-hop. What people can expect from Southpaw is something completely different production-wise that I've done in the past. I really took my time with this one and perfected my production skills. I used a lot of 808 drums and creating a lot of different melodies over the top of those to try and make it sound more musical, and lyrically a lot of deep and dark stories. Southpaw is sort of represents, you know, me going through periods and stages of my life of struggle and actually coming out of that as a fighter. And as well as that, you know, people will also hear my competitive spirit, because not only I just want to be known as a regular rapper, I want to be known as one of the greats to ever do it, not just in this country but period. And why not? Why can't I have that, you know, type of mind state to be one of the greatest?